call to order the regular town board meeting of the Arundecoit Town Board, December 19th, 2017. Visitors are invited to join board members in rising to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Here.
Councilwoman Hush-LaRae.
Here.
Councilman Perdicone.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Supervisor Sealy.
Here.
Attorney for the town.
She is on her way. She's actually upstairs finalizing a resolution. Good evening. Thank you for those in attendance, and happy holidays to everybody. A few remarks before we get to our order of business. We have a hefty agenda, but a lot of it is procedural stuff as we prep for our coming year on the town board. Some good news, the former Arundecoit Mall seems to be dominating headlines lately, but in a good way, and folks can remember that wasn't always the case. Our planning efforts for a community center is really in full steam ahead, and we're very happy with the public participation and reception received thus far. We had a very well-attended public forum on November 30th. There was a lot of enthusiasm about what the future holds, but our dialogue really continues. We're encouraging residents to complete an online survey with a link that hopefully is at the bottom of your screen. Yes, thank you, Nate. For those of you listening, it's surveymonkey.com/r/IDQT-CommCenter. Just look at the link on the screen. And as always, visit the town website for more information. We have a page with a host of and a wealth of information about the planning effort and allowing you to participate. To that note, last week I was very proud and happy to stand with some of my colleagues on the board, Deputy Supervisor Perdicone, and I think Councilwoman Hush-LaRae was in attendance, along with Senate Assembly Majority Leader Joe Morelli and Senator Rich Funke, our New York State Legislature delegation. We announced a $2.1 million commitment to the town in legislative grants that will help us finance the upcoming community center. We were actually inside the mall, which was very neat. The heat is being turned on actually this week, so we were 1 week away from having the heat turned on. So it was neat to be inside the mall, and I think everyone in attendance was really at awe with how good of shape it is in right now. I say if you wanted to, you could open that thing up as a mall in a month, but I don't think that's in line with the future plan. But we're certainly optimistic about what the future holds for the town with a potential community center. And that certainly is a tremendous lift to us as we look to the financing component. So we are grateful to Senator Funke and Majority Leader Morelli for their commitment to the town, their really ongoing commitment. They've been a terrific team on behalf of the folks here. Also last week, looking at the overall redevelopment of the mall, which is now known as Skyview on the Ridge, they received some very welcome news in the form of a $2 million grant through the New York State Regional Economic Development Council process, which is the primary state mechanism to receive state funding, a $2 million award. This was the largest economic development award in the region, and we're very happy that the mall, or the former mall, has really become a regional priority, not just a town priority, but a regional and a state priority. So we're very happy at that, and I think next year is going to be a very busy year over at that campus. The assessor's office is currently in the process of conducting a townwide reassessment, our first in almost a decade. This has been an ongoing process that really started at this point last year. At present, the state of New York has stated that the town's assessed value is only 94% of its actual assessed value. A reassessment is necessary to ensure that our tax roll is accurate, as we are charged with having an equitable tax roll. Our assessor's office has really been doing a fantastic job for the past several months, meeting with residents, answering their questions, executing this process in a transparent, open manner. Really happy to answer any questions folks might have. Now, one thing you always hear with a reassessment is the potential, what is this going to have, what impact will this have on my taxes leading forward? I remind people that it's impossible to determine the impact on a house-by-house basis until 2018 tax rates are set for the school district, county, fire districts, and town. But I will remind people that, especially with the newly imposed state property tax cap, it's very hard for local governments to have runaway authority to raise taxes and use the reassessment as a mechanism to do that. So my optimism is our tax levy will remain on the same relatively flat trajectory as it has the past few years. And while some folks' assessments might go up, you hope everyone is really kind of in the middle. So that remains to be seen. The process will continue in late January when residents will receive a letter from the assessor's office with a tentative 2018 assessment. Residents will have multiple chances, both formally and informally, to appeal this, and we really do encourage residents to do so. Business owners, homeowners, etc. We have resources available on the town website to help educate you both on the process as well as helping you to determine fair market value of your home. Please call our assessor's office at 336-6055 if you have any questions, or come by and see them at any time. And we really want to emphasize we're happy to answer folks' questions and just be engaging in this process. A reminder that the winter parking ordinance is in effect. No parking on town roads from midnight to 9 a.m. We need to make sure the streets are safe for our plows during these hours. And during snowfall of daylight hours, I encourage folks to take consideration in parking off the streets as well if the plows are on the roads. And that goes for the sidewalks as well. Our sidewalk plows need to keep the sidewalks clear for our youngsters going to and from school. So just be mindful when you're parking, try not to obstruct our sidewalks. As always, thank you in advance for your cooperation. I spend much of my day watching out of the corner of my eye upstairs. Our DPW crew's working on our ice rink. Last year's mild winter didn't give us many frozen days, so we hope the climate is a little bit more accommodating this year. It's probably the only reason we asked for cold weather, at least a little bit cold weather, so the ice can freeze in our ice rink. As was the case last year, we'll have a skate rental for a very small fee, and the town website and town's Facebook page always have up-to-date information about the status of the ice rink. We did incur some damage to the actual structure, so it's a little bit smaller. The windstorm, among other town assets, it left its mark on our ice rink as well, so no corner of the town was left unscathed by the windstorm, apparently. Winterfest will take place Saturday, January 27th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're known as a festival town, but often times things slow down in the winter months, so the 4th annual Winterfest allows you to beat those winter blues. As always, we have new activities every year, and Katrina, Don, Bob, and the rest of our recreation staff have been hard at work planning that. We'll be having a swearing-in ceremony on New Year's Day for our town officials, including Judges Janier and Valentino, Councilman Weiner, myself, and newly elected Councilwoman Kimmy Romeo. This will take place at 11 a.m. It will be televised, but residents are always welcome to attend. A brief organization meeting will follow, along with light refreshments after that. And I will note town offices will be closed on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and January 15th in observation of Martin Luther King Day. And with that, I'm going to ask the town board members to join me at the podium as we have a few special presentations, bittersweet presentations, just to mark the end of our year here in town board. So, board members. So it's a little bit bittersweet of an evening tonight. We I think have made progress as a town these past several years, largely because we've had, I think, really very sound leadership at all corners of town government, not just on our town board, our town planning board, our town conservation board, our town zoning board of appeals, our organizational staff here, and one board in particular that really has I think demonstrated exceptional leadership and really left a lasting mark on our town for generations to come is our town library board, or library board of trustees. A little preface of the library board. It's a little different than our other boards in the fact that they are appointed by the town board. However, they really have fiduciary responsibility over the library. The town board appropriates funds to the library. We help them develop their budget, but on a day-to-day basis, the library board works with the library director and really managing the budget, but also providing strategic vision and laying a foundation for what the library is going to be for generations to come. I can't say enough about the people who have served on that library board, who are serving at present, but I have to give recognition, and I can't name names because I'll leave people out, but the folks who were on the library board really during the time of the planning and advocacy and overall development and construction of our town library. And one person I think on that library board, just through her service, but also through her leadership as the president of the library board for 10 years. And I think we owe forever a debt of gratitude. This town, its taxpayers, and its future generations is Stephanie Squicciarini. So I'm going to ask Stephanie to come up right now and embarrass her a little bit. So a little bit about Stephanie. She's served on the library board for 14 years. The past 10 years as its president. Come on over here, Stephanie. The library has term limits, so unfortunately, I haven't been able to convince the board to change their policy, which would have afforded Stephanie to stay on, but she's term limited out, so at the end of this year, her term has expired. She's been 10 years as the president of the library board. Now, for those of you who don't know, the library board is a volunteer position. It's a labor of love, and Stephanie has truly been instrumental in both running the library, managing the library, but really promoting the library and really serving as the heart and soul for the development of the new beautiful facility next door. And I'm mindful of the years of, as we're going through our planning process with the community center, really the probably hundreds of hours she spent not just promoting it, but serving in meetings, talking to people, answering questions, and really giving people a vision for what a new library would mean for the town. She's a librarian by trade. She is a librarian, the teen services librarian, correct, at the Fairport Public Library since 2000. She's active around town, is an exceptional resident, independent of her service on the library board. And we are going to miss her dearly. I know the library board, the Library Foundation, the Friends of the library staff, our library director will miss her. I'm sure she'll still be a presence here, both in town activities in the library as well. But we wanted just to honor her with our board, express our dedication with a, probably doesn't do it justice, but present this plaque as a token of our gratitude to Stephanie. I'll read it as follows. The Irondequoit Town Board hereby recognizes Stephanie Squicciarini, President of the Irondequoit Library Board, for her tireless efforts to support Irondequoit's library system and improve our community for future generations. Awarded on this day, December 19th, 2017. So on behalf of the residents of Irondequoit, please join me in expressing our gratitude to Stephanie Squicciarini.
Thank you, Supervisor Seeley and the entire town board, and thanks again for the entire town for rallying behind our library. As I've been telling a lot of people, I can't honestly say that it's always been fun, but it's always been richly rewarding, and it's kind of humbling to know that that building is going to outlive us all and be here for generations to come. And I also want to thank John Perticone. I often joke with John that I saw John during that library process more than I saw my husband, and that was very much true. But without his support, it wouldn't have happened. So it was a pleasure serving with John and the entire town board. So thank you.
Do a quick picture. We have one more, just recognition, and this one hits a little bit closer to home, although I'm sad at both of them, but that's a necessary part of the job. I often joke with people that when I ran as a candidate for town board in 2013, I ran on Adam Bello and Lori Barnum's coattails, and Adam and I were more in the beginning of the arc of our career. And Lori, who's not necessarily old, but Lori had already had a very distinguished career, and left a mark not only on her community, but also the broader community and really the national community. Lori Barnum has served as a town councilwoman since 2014. Several months ago, she broke my heart over a cup of coffee when she declared that she would not be running for re-election for personal reasons. Nothing relative to her commitment, but just a decision she made, and one I think she put a lot of thought into. But I think she's at comfort with it. Lori has been, since I've served with her, has probably been, and each board member I've served with has had their own characteristics, but Lori really has put so much thought and energy and taken her role so seriously. Every decision, every vote we make, and we take hundreds of votes every year, she values her, she puts thought and values her right to participate in each one of those votes and takes it so seriously. And that's probably, I don't want to speak for Lori, but that's probably somewhat derived from her career. Prior to her service on the town board, she's really been a woman, remains, a woman and women's issues, fighting for women's equality. She served as the head, I'll butcher the full title, but she was the head of the Susan B. Anthony House for over a decade, I believe. Not only leading that outstanding organization, but really becoming a national voice, and not only honoring the legacy of Susan B. Anthony, but promoting women's issues and women's equality. And I often say that Susan B. Anthony would probably be proud to know that her efforts paved the way for people like Lori to serve in public office and represent their community and their democracy. Lori also worked in Rochester City Hall. She served in the YWCA and their senior leadership team. She's been recognized nationally. She's really a rock star. She served as a voice on several national public TV programs, national initiatives, but her service, I don't want to focus too much on her service outside of the town, because since she's been a town board member, she's done exceptional work. She was the lead for our Solarize Irondequoit initiative, which promoted residential solar for the town. She served on the Active Transportation Plan Committee, Community Development Block Grant Committee, the Senior Older Adults Services Study. She even helped, I think, work on the first Winterfest. So she's really left her mark. In one term, I'd say she's accomplished a lot. And I think back to when we started, and Adam's departed now, but Lori's really been the rock. And I think back to when we were talking about being tough on the former owner of the mall. And Lori really was the one that gave us a lot of the courage to do so. She was the one that said, protect those taxpayers. And I think that's really what she brought to the job, was just protecting the people of the community. So Lori, why don't you get over here? She's actually, give her a round of applause first. And you still have work to do today, so you can't leave after this. You still have to vote on several items. But she's joined here by her sister, Joanne, her son, Jim, and her lovely grandchild, Gio, tonight, so welcome. You want to come up here? No? Okay. I look better from afar, trust me, so stay there. But again, a token of our appreciation, and then I'll ask Lori if she wants to say a few words. But the Irondequoit Town Board hereby recognizes the Honorable Lori Barnum, Town Councilwoman, for her years of service to town government and her many contributions to improve the Irondequoit community for future generations, awarded on this day, December 19th, 2017. So please join me in expressing gratitude for Lori Barnum.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Of course I was inspired by Susan B. Anthony to be here, right? And I would encourage others to do the same, male or female. Of course, I always encourage females. Deciding to run for public office was something that, it was something I'd always wanted to do, but I was just so touched by the fact that people actually voted me in and trusted me to represent them. And I did work hard, and I brought my experiences just like my, town board members. We all bring different set of experiences to the table, and that's why I would encourage anyone out there who has a set of experiences, personal experiences. It's valuable, and consider running for office. It was a great ride to start with Supervisor Seeley and former Supervisor Bello, And I just want to commend them and let the people in the community know that the staff here, the professional staff here at the town, they're among the most dedicated public servants I've ever met. They really think every day about serving the community and putting community members first. So it's been a true pleasure, and thank you very much. Thank you. Miss everybody.
I'll just note, if you think she's coasting on her way out and has senioritis, she doesn't, not seen, never mind. But if you think she's slacking on her way out, she's not. She was in my office today meeting with our planning zoning administrator, Carrie Ivers, and I to talk about our environmental protection overlay districts, how we can make them better and enforce them better for years to come. So she's stumping me as she exits. So let's take a quick picture. So before we move on to public input, I'm going to just do 3 quick resolutions because we have several people who are being appointed to some of our town boards who are here, and I don't want to make them wait till the end of the meeting where they're on the agenda. So with that, I'm going to ask Madam Clerk to call up resolution number 4 first.
Item number 4, a resolution to reappoint a planning board chairman.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second?
Thank you. This resolution would reappoint Bernard Blocky to the planning board chairman, and I am been very just grateful for his service on the planning board. I was happy to appoint him and ask him to take the position really during a time where they had gone through some leadership changes, and Bernie's really been just a stability, but more the way he conducts the meetings. I think he's well respected, and the most important part of this process is getting allowing residents the opportunity to voice their opinions in favor or in opposition, but really allowing the board members to deliberate and having a clear process. And he's done a really terrific job, so I'm very happy to recommend this and support this appointment that would stretch until the end of 2019. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Bernie, if you don't mind standing up, waving for everyone. Thank you. Next up, resolution number 7, please.
Item number 7, appointing conservation board members.
Thank you. A motion
Moved.
and a second?
Second.
Thank you. This would appoint and in some cases, most cases, reappoint all the hardworking members of our town conservation board, some of whom are here tonight. I'll name them all who are reappointing. This will be a term that I believe will run until, help me out here, end of 2019, thank you. It's Stephen Grieve, Krista Greer, Jack Kaufman, David Long, Deborah Muratori, Larry Sorrell, and Daniel Janosch. And just a note about these members, they provide such a valuable service to the town of Arundequoit in helping us administer a number of initiatives, particularly our tree inventory. And I'll note incoming council member Kimmy Romeo is an outgoing member of the Conservation Board, and I've seen this as a very valuable resource, not only promoting conservation practices as we look to planning and zoning, but also really help serving as the heart and soul of those efforts as we try to create a more sustainable community. So I thank them for their membership and ongoing commitment to the town. And with that, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Would the board members appointed tonight please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Thought I saw one more, but apparently not. And finally, Madam Clerk, would you please go to agenda item number 30.
Item number 30, authorizing appointments to the Town Library Board of Trustees.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. This resolution would appoint 2 members to the town's Library Board of Trustees. One of the positions will replace Stephanie Squicciarini. The other will reappoint a currently serving member, Tyler Quillick. We are happy to appoint Lori Strano as well tonight. Tyler was appointed earlier this year by the Library Board to fill a vacancy, and we're very happy to interview Lori and appoint her as well. And I'll also note that we had a lengthy interview process, and I'll just note, people are very interested and excited about the library because we're having to, unfortunately, not appoint more people than we're appointing. There's a lot of interest in serving on this board. It's terrific, and we encourage people to continue to express an interest. It's very heartwarming. Stephanie can attest that it wasn't always as easy to get members to serve on the Library Board of Trustees, and we're happy now that folks are coming to us as opposed to us coming to them. So I was very happy with the crop of candidates that emerged, and we interviewed several exceptional people. I'll also note that through our interview process, which John and Stephanie took part in, we also recommended that Cecily Strickland Ruiz be appointed by the library board to serve complete a term, a 1-year term, and she is now serving. I believe she's taken her oath of office. She's here as well tonight. But above all, I just want to thank these members for their ongoing leadership. The 2 women that we're appointing tonight, they're obviously committed to the community. They were excited about serving on the library board, and I'm confident they're going to bring a lot of good attributes to that board. But their professional accomplishments really make me proud to put forth this appointment. They've really distinguished themselves in 2 very important organizations in our community, in the greater Rochester community, in leadership roles there. So I'm confident they'll bring that leadership qualities to the library board, and the library board is in good hands moving forward. So any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted, and with the 3 board members appointed, please stand up. Thank you. Okay, thank you, board members and Madam Clerk and Nate downstairs running our graphics for allowing me to audible. Folks who are here just for the beginning part of the meeting, you are welcome to stay. I don't take offense if you don't. And we will now move on to public input. If you are leaving, I just encourage you to be mindful that the hallway, the noise does carry in there, and we want to make sure board members can hear the public input. So we had a few people sign up for public input tonight. Certainly, if you did not sign up but wish to address the board, you may do so after we exhaust the folks who have signed up. I have a William Ruoff, who signed up to speak. Is William in attendance? He is not, okay. I have forgive me, a Joe Potter and it looks like a Lexi Popovic, or if I mess that up, excuse me. Yes, okay. Come on up. Our only request is just for the record, just say your name and your address.
My name is Lexi Popovich, and my address is 1595 Elmwood Avenue. And I want to thank you, Supervisor, and the board for allowing me to speak tonight. I will be talking about tobacco-free parks, and I go around and talk to different town boards and municipalities regarding this. Tobacco is the #1 preventable cause of death and disease in this country, killing more people than alcohol, AIDS, car accidents, illegal drugs, murders, and suicides combined. Annually in New York State, 3,000 people die from secondhand smoke exposure to tobacco. 7,500 youth under 18 this year will become new daily smokers, and an estimated 875,000 New York youth alive today are projected to become smokers and die prematurely of this. Tobacco-free grounds and outdoor policies provide numerous benefits to the public. They reduce exposure to secondhand smoke, they reduce a person's risk of developing serious and life-threatening diseases, and they ensure a healthy environment for sports and recreation while providing a clean and safe and breathing air. They also limit cigarette butt pollution, and they help denormalize tobacco use. Secondhand smoke is listed as a Class A carcinogen that contains 7,000 chemicals and 70 cancer-causing agents. secondhand smoke increases non-smokers' risk of developing heart disease and lung cancer by 20 to 30%. Exposure to secondhand smoke is unhealthy and dangerous and is linked to a wide range of serious health problems. Children are more susceptible to its impacts as they are likely to develop bronchitis, pneumonia, ear infections, and also asthma attacks. Cigarette butts remain the most littered item in the United States, with over 175 million pounds littered every year. Cigarette filters are not biodegradable, and they are toxic pollutants impacting our parks, waterways, and hiking trails. They decrease public appeal of public spaces and create higher maintenance costs, and they also pose serious and dangerous fire hazard risks. The U.S. Surgeon General acknowledges youth are more likely to use tobacco if they see that tobacco is acceptable or normalized in public settings. Adolescents are particularly susceptible to the rewarding effects of nicotine, causing 3 out of 4 young smokers to continue smoking into adulthood, often priming their young brains for future addiction to other drugs and alcohol. Almost 90% of all adult smokers start before the age of 18. There are over 550 municipalities around New York State that have passed regulations restricting tobacco use in outdoor recreational areas. The town of Ogden, Rush, Henrietta, Wheatland, and the village of Brockport and Scottsville, as well as the city of Rochester, have gone 100% tobacco-free. We are also working with 2 other municipalities around the county that are also going tobacco-free in the spring.
Take your time.
Okay. Tobacco-free environments improve the quality of life for all residents, and they encourage healthy recreational spaces. Additionally, e-cigarette usage by New York State youth and high schoolers have doubled in the past several years. Around the county, this has become an increasing issue. 1 out of 4 Monroe County youth currently use e-cigarettes, and 32% of all Monroe County youth have used cigarettes, cigars, and e-cigarettes in the past 30 days. That is 50,000 youth in our county. Including e-cigarettes and tobacco-free policies helps target the recent expansion of youth use and popularity with these products. In conclusion, the town of Arundecoit holds strong values for community safety, cleanliness, wellness, and recreation for all. Tobacco-free spaces limit youth exposure to these deadly products and help protect all employees, visitors, youth, and wildlife from secondhand smoke dangers. Our youth deserve to play in a safe environment free from asthma triggers, secondhand smoke, and cigarette butt litter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And is this your business card in the folder?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. I'll be happy to follow up with you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Did you want to come forward, sir? Yeah, sure. Okay, very good. Just say your name and address for the record, if you may.
Joe Potter, 1595 Elmwood Ave, Rochester, New York. Good evening, Supervisor Sealy and Board. Today I just want to talk about Reality Check, which is the youth action component of the Smoking and Health Action Coalition. We actually have one at Eastridge High School, and we do some events there throughout the year. Reality checks for kids 13 to 18 who live in Monroe County. On October 13th, we had a Seen Enough Tobacco Day, which focused on educating community members and students about point of sale. As Lexi mentioned, some of the statistics are pretty alarming. In New York State, the average age of a new smoker is 13. For tobacco-free outdoors, as Lexi mentioned, cigarette butts remain the most littered item in the U.S. with over 175 million pounds. So we'll do cigarette butt pickups in the community. At Eastridge High, we've done them in several places. This year for Earth Day, on April 22nd, we'll be having one locally. We have a smoke-free media policy at the Arundecoit Public Library. So Reality Check does different events in the community, and we have 4 initiatives we focus on. Point of sale, which is limiting tobacco marketing to youth. Smoke-free media, which is reducing smoking in children movies. Tobacco-free outdoors, and smoke-free multi-unit housing. Some of our events, we've been on the Post, on the front page, on Spectrum News. It's a great program for kids, and we typically meet after school for 30 minutes to an hour. And if you guys have any questions, our Reality Check brochure is in the folder along with my card.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks to you both. Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Very good. We will now move on. With our financial report, Comptroller Sealy has been awaiting, and she will now educate us on the status of our town finances. Madam Comptroller.
Thank you. The 2017 financial results for the town as of November 30th. Total expenditures and encumbrances are 95.8% of budget, $32,722,000, and that's higher than the 91.7% of the year that has elapsed. The 91.7% represents 11/12 of the year. Actual expenditures are $30,903,000, and encumbrances are an additional $1,819,000. Included in that $32.7 million total is approximately $4.2 million of fire-related expenditures. $3,499,000 is the actual amount, and $723,000 is encumbered. Without the fire-related expenses, the town would be favorable at 83.5% of budget, or $28,500,000. The fire-related cost of $4.2 million break down as follows: Highway, $1,900,000. General Fund, $1,438,000. Sewer, $871,000. Storm Drainage, $13,000. General Fund expenses are $18,802,000, 94% of budget. The encumbrances are $1,131,000, and actual expenditures $17,672,000. The general fund includes approximately $1,438,000 of fire-related expenses. Included in those expenses are demolition costs and expenses of the temporary DPW structure. If you exclude those expenses, the fund is favorable at 86.8% of budget. The general fund expenses include some unplanned police department costs associated with several veteran officers retiring during the year. In aggregate, the highway expenses are $6,412,000, 113% of budget, above the 91.7% of the year that has elapsed. Prominent standard yearly expenses remain, such as gas, fuel, and asphalt in Highway 1, equipment parts, and installment debt in Highway 3, and salt in Highway 4. Encumbered and actual fire-related expenses are $1,900,000. Exclusive of those, the highway expenses would be favorable at 79.6% of budget. Regarding the other significant funds, the total library expenditures of $2,095,000 are slightly below budget at 87.7%. Sewer has expended 97% of budget in the amount of $4,044,000. $871,000 is fire-related. The fund would be favorable at 76.1% if fire expenses were excluded. Stormwater drainage is currently at 56.3% of budget, a total of $440,000. Included there is $14,000 of fire-related costs. So the non-fire expenses equate to 54.6% of budget. The general fund revenue as of the end of November is 96.1% of budget, a total of $19,021,000, $10.6 million of tax revenue, and $196,000 of payment in lieu of taxes are in. Also received to date is 8 months of sales tax totaling $2,830,000, 69.5% of budget. 3 months of mortgage tax equal to $161,000, 20.6%. The 3 months is all that is due at this time. We have received $368,000 or 50.6% of franchise cable TV revenue, and the complete per capita state aid of $613,000. Included in general fund revenue within other sources of revenue is $1,834,000 of insurance recovery. General fund revenue exclusive of fire insurance recovery is $17,186,000, 86.9% of budget. the total town revenue and appropriated fund balance through November equate to $33.7 million, 99.7% of budget. Included in that amount is $3.1 million of fire insurance recovery. Without the insurance proceeds, the receipts would be $30.5 million or 90.4% of budget. Real estate taxes across all funds remain at $16.7 million. Revenue. The year-to-date revenue for the library is $2,373,000, or 99.3% of budget for the library. The highway has recorded 101.7% of revenue, $5.7 million. This includes $471,000 of fire insurance recovery. Exclusive of the recovery, the fund would be at 93.3% of budgeted revenue. Sewer has received $4.8 million, 115% of budget. Included here is $691,000 of insurance proceeds. Sewer would be at 98.4% of budget without those proceeds. Revenue for stormwater drainage is $915,000, 120% of budget. Excluding the $152,000 of insurance recovery, the fund would be at 100% of budget. So from this report, you'll note that the fire-related expenses exceed the revenue by $1.1 million. Fire-related expenses, $4.2 million, and revenue is $3.1 million. However, Commissioner Kiley is discussing a resolution tonight for a $1.3 million settlement, which would bring the fire expenses and revenue into better alignment. So this concludes my financial report for the month of November.
Thanks, Annie, and I'll just note this almost a year from the Christmas Eve fire from last year, and right from the onset, it kind of changed how we approached our financial reporting for this year, and we just continue to thank you for making it presentable and for divorcing out those fire-related expenses and revenue, so we can get a clear picture of how we're operating independent of those. But it's been very helpful for us, the board, as we look at our month-to-month finances, but also for our town departments as well. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, a motion to accept the financial report?
Moved.
And a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Financial report is accepted. Madam Clerk?
Approval of minutes, November 9, 2017, Special Town Board Public Hearing Meeting.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain?
Wait, there was the November 9th
Yes.
one?
Do you abstain?
Abstain.
Mr. Weiner abstains. Minutes are approved.
November 14th, 2017, the workshop meeting.
Motion.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Questions, comments, revisions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
November 14, 2017, a special town board meeting.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, comments, revisions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
November 21st, 2017, the regular town board meeting.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, comments, revisions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
December 5th, 2017, the special town board meeting.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Questions, comments, revisions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, we can move on to items for board action.
Item number 1, bless you. Authorizing the adoption of the 2018 Arundequoit Planning Board Workshop and Meeting Schedule.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. This schedule is attached to board members' resolution in the form of Exhibit A. And any questions, comments, revisions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 2, authorizing the adoption of the 2018 Arundequoit Zoning Board of Appeals meeting schedule.
Motion. And a second.
Second.
Thank you. This is again affixed in Exhibit A. I'll note that the Zoning Board of Appeals meets in the Broderick Room the first Monday of each month, and the schedule also includes the closing dates by which applicants have until to submit for consideration. And I'll also note that the Planning Board meets regularly twice a month for workshop meeting and a regular meeting, the regular meeting coming at the end of the month. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 3, reappoint a planning board member.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. I'm very happy to recommend that Mary Hollenbeck be reappointed to the Town Planning Board. She served on the board for several years, is a community advocate, a community leader, and look forward to her continuing to serve on this board. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, we'll go to Resolution 5 now.
Item number 5, reappoint a member to the Town Zoning Board of Appeals.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thanks. This is the third resolution we've had for Ryan Trevis this year, as he became an alternate, was appointed to complete a term, and now we're appointing him for full. I'll note these are 7-year terms, so Mr. Trevis has dominated the resolution circuit this year, and he's really been an enthusiastic member of the board and will commit to nothing less than 7 years, so I'm happy to reappoint him. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 6, authorizing the adoption of the 2018 Arundequoit Conservation Board meeting schedule.
Thank you. Motion and a second.
Second.
Thank you. The Conservation Board meets in the first floor conference room on the first Wednesday of each month, and the full year schedule is attached via Exhibit A to the resolution. Questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Number 8, Madam Clerk. Oh, actually, we're going to pull Resolution 8 and move on to Resolution 9.
Item number 9, authorizing correction of multiple parcel errors for the years 2015, 2016, and 2017.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Commissioner Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The
welcome.
resolution before the town board this evening corrects an error with regard to fees associated with the Consolidated Sewer District. Earlier this year, several constituents reached out to us here at Town Hall indicating that they had received a charge that was abnormal for their properties along St. Paul Boulevard and List Avenue and Pine Grove. We did some investigating with the County of Monroe, with their finance department, and discovered that several properties were unfortunately placed into the Consolidated Sewer District within the fee structure there, and as such should not have been, as they do not receive Consolidated Sewer District services. This resolution authorizes the payment to the County of Monroe, and then the County of Monroe issues payment back to the homeowners in Arundequoit that were charged inappropriately for services not rendered.
Bob, this will go to the county legislature then for authorization?
That is correct, sir. So this is the first step that would go to the county ledge to approve the funds to each individual property owner.
Okay, so in short, we're righting a wrong that, through I don't think any fault to the town, it was more of a accounting glitch and information received from the county, but ensuring that residents aren't basically double paying for connection to the Consolidated Sewer District. So the right thing to do, and I'm happy, and thank you to Bob and Annie Doler and Attorney Smith for their hard work on this. Questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 10, authorizing the supervisor to execute an agreement for Monroe County Snow and Ice for 2017-2018 season.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Commissioner Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The resolution before the town board would authorize the town to continue to plow and salt county roads within the town. The county owns and maintains 87.205 miles within the town, and the town charges $3,400 $24 per lane mile for those services. So this allows the town to charge the county for services rendered.
And the rate for reimbursement is based on a 3-year historical trend, correct?
That is correct. So it did decrease slightly this year due to the fact that we had a very light winter last year.
Well,
outside of
let's hope we
Wednesday.
have a light winter this year and it's just cold to get the ice. We have a little bit of snow for Winterfest and then no more snow. I don't think the Farmer's Almanac says that, but questions or comments?
Supervisor's Almanac. Yeah.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 11, authorizing the award of uniforms for the Department of Community Services.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
I'll provide a brief explanation. This for our based on our collective bargaining agreement with our blue collar unit. We have a uniform allowance. This was bid out, and the lowest responsible bidder came back, and it is awarding funds for uniforms for our Department of Community Services. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 12, authorizing the supervisor to execute an agreement for Monroe County All Seasons Work in Monroe County Rights-of-Way.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Kylie, brief explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This allows the town to charge back the county for services rendered with regard to road work and road maintenance on county roads within the town of Arundecoit.
Thank you. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Resolution is adopted.
Item number 13, accepting the business personal property claim for the Department of Public Works.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Commissioner Kylie.
As Comptroller Seeley stated earlier within the financial report, the town, with this resolution, seeks to settle one of the components of our insurance claim from the December 24th, 2016 fire that occurred at the Department of Public Works. This claim is the business personal property claim, meaning this is the contents of the buildings that were in there when the fire raged through and destroyed the assets within the buildings. This claim is settled with the assistance of NFA, the National Fire Adjustment Incorporated Company, who is representing the town on the town's behalf with Travelers Insurance, our insurance company. The settlement is in the amount of $1,307,635.05. There is a supplemental claim with regard to this for replacement cost of items lost in the fire in the amount of $432,354.34. I'll note that the supplemental insurance claim, it can be that $400,000 and change, is available for the town, at which time the town purchases an item lost in the claim. We would then be allowed to apply for the depreciated value, the cost difference between the depreciated value and the replacement cost value.
Thank you, Robert. And this, just to be clear, it's replacement cost. So
Correct.
for those who've been through an insurance claim, it's the replacement cost. Any questions or comments? Thank you. And I know Annie and Bob have been talking a lot, and thankfully their offices are relatively close to each other, so that's a good thing. But this has been a long process, and it will continue. But it's been a lot of work, and I think our staff and our DPW garage, Bob, Don, the rest of the crew, for really itemizing probably thousands of individual components of the claim, and making sure that we had an accurate picture of what was inside the facility, and not an easy task. So a lot of hard work went into this. With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 14, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for youth and family programming for winter, spring 2018.
Motion. Second.
Second.
Deputy Commissioner Sinton.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This allows you to enter into contracts with various vendors for youth and family programming for the winter and spring seasons. These contracts were available at the recent board workshop for board review.
Thank you. And aggregate list is attached as well to the resolution. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 15, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for senior recreational programming for 2018.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Deputy Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Very similar to the last one, this allows you to enter into contracts with various vendors for senior recreational programming for the upcoming 2018 year. And again, these were available at the board workshop.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 16, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for the town's 2018 Farmers Market and Gazebo Concert Series.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Mr. Sinton?
Thank you again, Mr. Supervisor. Again, this allows you to enter into contracts with various performers for the Farmers Market and Gazebo Concert Series, which is always very popular.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 17, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for the town's 2018 Winterfest celebration.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
It's self-explanatory. I won't put Mr. Sinton through explaining it. This is similar to the previous three resolutions, but relates to contracts for vendors for the Winterfest celebration. The contracts were available for review at the workshop meeting, and a summary is affixed to the resolution via addendum A. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 18, authorizing the capital improvement program for the town of Arundecoit for 2018 through 2023.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. I'll let Mr. Kiley give us a run-through of this, and then I'll kind of provide some context for the subsequent resolutions as it relates to bonding. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The resolution before the town board this evening ratifies the town's capital improvement program for the years running from 2018 to 2023. Within the capital improvement program for 2018, the town is investing on upgrades within the infrastructure here on the town hall campus, specifically the town hall itself and the public safety building. At the town hall, we're looking at HVAC and cooling tower upgrades. Similarly, at the police department, we're looking at boiler upgrades and continued HVAC improvements at that facility. In addition to the improvements at the public safety building, we are looking at some campus security upgrades for the police department, and Chief Tantillo with really some assistance from our local legislators, Senator Funke receiving a grant in the amount of $125,000 for that, and partial for those upgrades there. We continue to invest in our playgrounds, invest in our parking lots here at the Town Hall campus and for the police department, and our sidewalks throughout town. This capital improvement program for 2018 sees a sizable investment in our sidewalks to increase the ADA accessibility and repair any and all damaged or heaved sidewalks. Most importantly, within this plan would be the funds necessary to reconstruct the Department of Public Works at the 590-104 interchange. That's the largest dollar item here on this capital improvement program in the amount of $11,250,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the Commissioner on the CIP? No, I'll note just the importance of having a CIP. You know, when we were on the phone with our, the rating agencies, they point to our ability to have this clear picture of what our long-term capital investments are. I'll note, obviously, the Public Works facility is the lion's share of this CIP, at least for 2018. But I'm very glad we're making some very, I would argue, long overdue enhancements to our physical plant. And I thank the chief for working with Senator Funke on these security, really necessary security enhancements for our public safety building to ensure our officers are safe. But even things like repairing boilers, HVAC, long overdue, but also will allow us to be more energy efficient. So while we have the big ticket item, I'm glad we're also making these investments as well. And thank the board members for their continued support, hopefully continued support, just to ensure that we're taking care of our infrastructure and our town assets. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 19, authorizing the construction and installation of a new cooling tower at the town hall, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $65,000, appropriating said amount thereof, and authorizing the issuance of up to $65,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion? Move. In a second?
Second.
So we're not gonna spend a lot of time on each individual resolution, mainly because Barb's lengthy title is self-explanatory as far as the amount to be financed as well as the total project, estimated total project cost. I will note though, taken as a whole, all these amount to almost $12 million in bonding, anticipated bonding, which might cause me to lose sleep. However, I will note we are at a point where our debt service, our annual debt service, is really on a very steep decline. Over the next 2 years, it's tracked to decline, I think upwards of several $100,000. So even with this financing, our long-term debt service picture is one where we're still declining. So, each bond resolution and I should say each capital improvement measure has an anticipated impact to the tax levy, but I'm confident we can absorb this because our debt service, through some pretty sound conservative budgeting and good management of our debt, has been declining. And it's allowing us to make this relatively unanticipated long-term major investment that's really something we've needed to do for a couple decades. But I'm happy that, that good debt management has really this unforeseen capital expenditure made it pretty affordable and workable within our long-term town fiscal outlook. So we have a resolution on the table right now, the first one being for the cooling tower at Town Hall. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 20, authorizing the town to upgrade and replace the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and air circulation systems at the town hall, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $90,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $90,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Peter. Questions or comments? Again, this is a necessary upgrade to our town hall HVAC system. This is an old building and in need of repairs like this, and will allow us to better manage our heat and energy costs. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 21, authorizing the town to undertake the installation of a new boiler and other heating components at the Public Safety Building, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $65,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $65,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Thank you. Motion?
Move.
In a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 22, authorizing the town to upgrade and replace the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and air circulation systems at the Public Safety Building, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $55,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $55,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion?
Moved.
In a second?
Second.
Thank you. Another necessary upgrade to our public safety building. And I'll just note, Madam Clerk, these will be posted in the town newspaper, all the
December.
bond resolutions in the next week's issue.
December 28th.
Very good. That's a requirement of the bonding, but the full disclosure just to allow people to review these. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 23, authorizing the town to undertake security upgrades and improvements to the public safety building, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $150,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $25,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, and I'll just note, the budget cost of this is estimated to be $150,000. $125,000 of that project cost we anticipate being covered by a state grant, that's being facilitated by, Senator Funky, it's what's known as the SAM grant, State and Municipal, Facility Grant. So we're grateful to Senator Funky for helping that along, and Chief, thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 24, authorizing the town to undertake certain embellishments to parks, playgrounds, and recreational areas, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $60,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $60,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Again, I thank the board for their continued investment in our parks and playgrounds. We've made some good enhancements and look forward to more to come. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 25, authorizing the resurfacing of parking lots throughout the town, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $100,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $100,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion.
Move.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Very good. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 26, authorizing the reconstruction of existing sidewalks throughout the town, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $250,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $250,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you, and I'm glad we're continuing to make investments in our sidewalks. We have the most, by far, sidewalks per capita of any town in Monroe County, so maintaining them and ensuring that they are safe for travel is always paramount. Questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 27, authorizing the construction and equipping of a new Department of Public Works highway garage, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $16,250,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of up to $11,250,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Motion.
Move.
In a second?
Second.
Thank you, and as you can see, a good chunk of this will be through other sources, particularly fire insurance claim, pending state grant, and our intent is for that 11 and change million number to be, it's a very conservative estimate, I think. We want to make sure we're leaving ourselves room, but, you know, we're going to look for every way to minimize cost on this, and already hopefully trending in that direction, but, you know, our hope is for that ultimate draw from that bond to be much less, or I shouldn't say much, significantly less, but this is a number we felt comfortable with locking in. Questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 28, authorizing the appointment of a police captain in the Arundecoyt Police Department.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. In May of this year, we appointed Mark Bean as the acting police captain to the Arundecoyt Police Department. Acting Captain Bean, which I have been calling him incorrectly Captain Bean for the past several months, but he has taken and passed the police captain exam and was the top of the list, so we're very happy with that. And with that, it's my pleasure to advance this resolution that will approve the permanent appointment of Acting Captain Mark Bean to the permanent position of Police Captain in the Arundecoyt Police Department. And I'm very happy to advance this, and it's been a pleasure working with Acting Captain Bean, and I will continue to call him Captain, but he is a tremendous asset to the department. He's I know very valuable to Chief, but he's been terrific to work with, and I know is really highly thought of, not only by folks in the department, but in the greater law enforcement community. Any questions, revisions to that statement? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Captain Beam, would you please stand up? Thank you.
Item number 29, authorizing the appointment of Deferred Compensation Committee members.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. This would approve the reappointment of Annie Seeley, Jason Vanette, Beth Wacho, and Scott Davis to two-year terms on our Deferred Compensation Board. The term shall expire December 31st, 2019. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 31, supporting a payment in lieu of taxes agreement for 1733 Ridge Road.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. Ever since the project for the former mall began to take shape, the owner was very upfront, saying he intended to seek a payment in lieu of taxes agreement, which is not unexpected. Any project of this size in the area, really, it's anticipated you would pursue such an agreement to help with the financing and construction and completion of the project. I did ask I did make some request of the developer when we began working with Comida, which is now called Imagine Monroe, in the school district. One, I asked for a simpler agreement relative to the previous agreement for the former project at the mall, which we're still really adjudicating in court because you can interpret it a million ways. The developer complied. This is very straightforward. I also asked that the town needs to see some growth in our the taxes that we draw through the development of the project. Often with longer term projects, you're locked in to a fixed pilot payment, which might have an escalator, but you don't really see substantial growth through the life of the pilot. This is not the case with this. In a relatively shorter term than other long-term pilots, the town will be able to realize the benefits of the increased assessed value. So we're very happy about that. And I'll also note the town does reserve the right to, in years 6 and 10, review the pilot, and if no growth has taken place or if it's declined in value, which we don't anticipate that happening, but that pilot payment will be locked in the base pilot payment. And just to note, the base pilot payment is the taxes on the property, what it's assessed now. Mr. Ingrassi has been paying his property taxes. It's assessed at about $5.1 million. His school, county, fire, and town taxes have been paid based on that. This agreement deals with any increased assessed value derived from the development. So we've had numerous conversations with the school district, who I believe will be passing a similar resolution at their upcoming board meeting. But overall, happy with the outcome, and I hope it can help facilitate the project while also protecting and aiding taxpayers. Questions or comments?
Good negotiation, Mr. Supervisor. Very good.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 32, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a contract for financial and managerial analysis for operations of a future community center and authorize a transfer of funds.
Motion? Move. A second?
Second.
This resolution will authorize the town to contract with Ballard King and Associates for a financial and managerial analysis for operations of a future community center. The rationale for this, us seeking these services, is that if we're going to be moving into a new facility, perhaps offering additional services to our residents, we want to be able to gauge the impact of both the impact on our town organization and also our revenue and expenditure streams. I think it's the responsible thing to do if we are to enter into a longer-term commitment that would transform our recreation program and give us a clear picture of what the impact would be. Commissioner Kiley, anything to add?
I guess I would like to point out, Mr. Supervisor, that this study kind of works hand in hand with our ongoing community outreach with regard to the planning and design of the future rec center.
Thank you very much. Yes, they're happening concurrently, and one will help kind of inform the other, I think. Again, it's a good expenditure on the front end if we're going to be committing ourselves, and it's a highly thought-of firm. They've worked with several municipalities in the region, and this is really what they do, and look forward to working with them. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 33, approving the 2018 workshop and regular town board meeting schedule.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105, I move that we enter into executive session to discuss current litigation. Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will adjourn and be back briefly. Thank you. Board members now have a resolution on their desk that was discussed in executive session. Madam Clerk, please read the title.
Adopting a resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into a settlement agreement.
Thank you. Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Just given, this diverts somewhat from our policy of having all resolutions in advance, but it is timely that we consider this, and it necessitates its consideration tonight. I will read it in its entirety. Whereas pursuant to Town Law, Section 68, 4, the Town Board may compromise or settle any action, proceeding, or claim against the town upon such terms as said board shall determine are just, reasonable, and to the interest of the town. And whereas the Town Board has reviewed a settlement offer from Burson Properties LLC to settle Burson Properties LLC versus County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency et al. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board has determined that the settlement offer from Burson Properties LLC is just, reasonable, and to the interest of the town, and authorizes the supervisor to enter into any and all documents necessary to settle Burson Properties LLC versus the County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency et al. In such form as approved by the attorney for the town. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. I will now entertain a motion to this concludes our body of work for our December 19th regular town board meeting. We thank all those who are in attendance tonight and stuck with us. Our next board meeting is actually our organizational meeting, Monday, January 1st at 11 a.m. Next workshop is Tuesday, January 9th at 4 p.m. The next regular town board meeting is Tuesday, January 16th, 2018 at 7 p.m. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilwoman Barnum has made a motion to adjourn, and I am now prohibiting other board members from seconding that motion. Just kidding. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Arundecoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Arundecoit's government access channel.